Light tonight. Sorry for the delay tonight, but I had to get it right. Let me get back to my full cam right here on YouTube. Thank you very much for joining me on Talk Live tonight. We are live. We are back and live. And hope you're having a good week. And the weekend is nearly here, so thank you very much for joining me on Talk Live. You could have been anywhere, but you're here with me. And I thank you very much for everything that you do in terms of tuning in with me here tonight. Yes, sorry for the delay. Again, I wanted this show to be just right, and I wanted my talking points to be just right. So, but we finally got those talking points well and truly clear, and now we are really here. So let me just get my camera all synced up and ready to go. Hope you are having a great week, as I said. And again, this show is sponsored by Duntalk, DUNTALK.com. And like, subscribe, comment. We're on the road to 1,000 subscribers with shorts to come. That is one thing I'll be working on this weekend, even though this is probably the busiest party season of the calendar year in the city. After pretty much the long August weekend, it usually dies down from there. So working towards the peak right now. And yes, but again, I thank you for joining me on Talk Live tonight. So we're going to tackle it. We're going to get into it right now. And tonight we are going to get into the whole Adam 22, Lena the Plug, Jason Love triangle scenario and the corn heard around the world. Ladies and gentlemen, it is, if you've been living under a huge rock, you know about the controversy stirred up by the man Adam 22, the leader of the No Jumper podcast, a very successful podcast I've listened to on occasion from time to time over the years. And it is a fantastic. Well, it has some. It deals with controversial topics, deals with controversial people, and not only are his guests deemed controversial or deemed part of the zeitgeist of the world, but of pop culture, Adam 22 is also now part of the zeitgeist as well. If you did not know, Adam 22 not only hosts a podcast, but he's also considered a star of Korn and Scream. Yes, it seems Adam 22 has had the reputation and has the wherewithal and has had the experience of being a Korn star with not only himself but his new wife, that is Lena the Plug. Lena has been a Korn star in these streets for a while now, very long time, and it is Adam 22 and his wife and his newlywed wife have filmed many Korn videos over time, not only with themselves but also with other women. They have allowed for other women to come into the scene now. Again, so that's usually the arrangement with Lena the Plug. Lena the Plug would exclusively, and she'll tell you that herself, would exclusively be in scenes or only be involved with Adam 22 when it comes to Korn. And if another person was involved, it would be Adam 22, Lena the Plug, and a woman. No man would be involved. No other man would be involved in their Korn scenes. And that has been their rule up until now, where it has been hinted over time, not only through X-rated award shows, but also in different social media outlets that Lena the Plug has always wanted to do a Korn scene with another man. Without the involvement of Adam 22 outside of actually filming the event. And after they were wed, Lena the Plug finally got a wish. I'm just giving the backstory here. Lena the Plug finally got a wish, and she filmed a. Let's get into it and talk live here, so we know who we're talking about here. Okay, and we're gonna go to the video to the video board right now. So let's just get these things out of the way here. Adam 22. This is Adam 22 and wife. Sorry. And wife. So this is Adam 22 right here. That's Lena the Plug. Let's get some images here so we can get you a there she is. Perfect shot. So let's So there we go. That's a perfect shot for us. So let's do one of these. Do want to open it tab, and these are the people involved in this huge social media controversy. So on the right, you would see Adam22 and his wife Lena the Plug. You know, your usual run-of-the-mill corn star, and again, as I said, it's only Adam22 and his wife who would film scenes together. And that was usually the rule. And if they wanted to film a scene with someone else, it would be with a woman, and that woman would be involved in the scene with Adam22 and his wife, or as Lena the Plug has already referred to in her own words, she is bisexual, and she can also sleep with another woman, but not with another man. No other man can get involved in their relationship. So only Adam22 is allowed to, quote unquote, plug Lena the Plug outside of a woman. So that's always been the rule, and that has gone on until their marriage day. And one thing that Adam22 promised Lena was that, after their wedding, and this went on through lengthy discussion, that Lena would be allowed to film a corn scene with a male partner. And the man on the left, if you see it here on Talk Live on YouTube, Adam22, that's where he came into the picture. Because it has always been Lena's fantasy to film a corn video with not only that Adam22, but Jason Love. Jason Love on the left. So she got her wish. She finally got her wish, and of course we can't show the scene right now, but let's just say she was not disappointed. She was thoroughly enthralled with what went down. And quite simply, it was a job for which Adam22 fully paid Lena the Plug. Actually, let's go there right now, and let's just get a quick discussion on, let me see, YouTube here, and Adam22 and Jason Love discussion. Because I believe, let me see, Jason Love discussion. So Adam22, Jason Love had a little discussion of what went down on the day. So Jason Love calls in on a No Jumper interview. Here we go. So this is what transpired here.
Oh, I'm getting a call. Oh, okay.
So let's just listen to it live, actually. We're going to go in live. We're going to go live here.
Mr. Jason Love, how you doing, man?
What's good?
We're just doing a little podcast here, and figured that we would, have a little conversation.
Well, now, again, to preface this, this, you can hear it here on Talk Live, this was planned. You knew, because, again, the controversy of Adam's wife being in a sex scene with Jason Love caused a lot of controversy, not only in social media, but also in men's red pill spaces. In that, Adam22 was catching a lot of heat for allowing his wife, as much of a corn star as she is, to be involved with another man and allow him to make love to his wife for profit. So we're just going to get into it right now as to their reasoning, because they had to, quell the negative publicity and the hell that Adam22 was catching by allowing his woman to be involved in a sex scene with another man after their marriage. So let's go.
With you to see exactly how all this was for you as well.
Cool. That's why I chimed in. Catch y'all. See what's up.
Definitely. So what's the vibe like between you guys? Anything I should know about?
I don't think there's a really vibe. I think it's like a business thing, but I feel just very uncomfortable with this right now. I feel awkward.
You know uncomfortable.
Can you tell him how nervous I was?
Bro, like so nervous. Oh my God. I feel so wrong right now. Like
It was bad.
it's just work.
Okay. But a lot of people have like a cheating fetish. Like I'm not gonna lie, like
I feel like you do.
yeah, cheating I've done in the past was I a little bit turned on by the fact that I was doing something underhand, or take myself out of it. But like, if you're fucking a girl and you know she has a boyfriend, and she's doing something wrong, that is kind of hot.
Is it?
A little bit.
You see, he knows.
It's kind of like the adrenaline.
I
You
feel
know,
so
you're
guilty
supposed to
even
be doing
if
it.
I was the other woman.
Okay, so Jason, give me a genuine review. How was it?
You want like a number scale or just like
Numbers sounds like it could be hurtful, but if it's a high number,
It gives me
sure.
like a 4.
100% 9 out of 10?
Really, 9 out of 10. Who's a 10?
Well, obviously her.
Oh,
Well, she was a 9 out of 10. I never grasped a top 10 before, so you gotta leave room for something that could possibly top the next one.
okay, yeah.
I'll take a 9 then.
That's fair. Okay, yeah. So a lot of people want to know, I don't know, just like if I should feel diminished as a man as a result of this. Like the cuck narrative is very, very strong. I just want to get your thoughts on that, and if how people should think about that in the context of me being, you know, the silent third party in all this.
So, to those who do not, who have lived under a rock themselves, to be a cuck is to be one who is willing to do whatever and whatever it takes, no matter how debasing it is to your human psyche, to your human senses, to your human demeanor, as is possible to have your woman be pleased. So therefore, men are accusing Jason, Adam 22, as being a cuck, as being a man who went to any lengths to put a smile on a woman's face, even though it debases her as a woman and him as a man. So, again, that is the going opinion of many a man who have heard of this story, because again, not many men would be involved, get their wives involved in a sex scene with another man after marriage. No chance. And even if, yes, it has been prior knowledge, as they've alluded to in the show, that Adam 22 has had prior relationships with other women, extra relationship affairs with others, and he allowed, but again, as a return, allowed his woman to be, well, to live out her sexual fantasies in this way. But again, so everybody's considering him a cuck, so he's trying to answer that question. He's asked Jason to say if he is indeed a cuck himself.
Well, I don't know. Like, if you look at it in a business aspect, then basically it was just a job, you know? She's high up in her ranks, I'm high up in my ranks. Us two together obviously make the most amounts of money. So not so much being a cook. If you're comfortable with it, y'all communicated it fine. Obviously, she said y'all did. So it's not really a cook situation. It's more of like two people coming and making an understanding.
Yeah.
You know, so if you're cool with it, then, you know, it is what it is. Me personally, I don't know if I have enough in me to allow it, but everyone's different. Everyone have different levels.
That right there is the telltale sign of it all. Again, good answer by Jason. You say, listen, this is business. It's the corn industry is a business after all, and they want to make money. So the video that would allow for the most money to be made is if Lena the Plug involved herself in a BBC. BBC is Big Black Blank video with Jason Love. Now, from a business standpoint, it makes perfect sense because it'll make the most money. However, in a moral stance, it's a problem. And even Jason Love had to call that out. He said he would not enjoy his woman being involved in extramarital affairs on camera with another man. I think he would never approve of that, allow for that. And most men wouldn't, but you know, as is seen right here, Adam 22 is a capitalist, and he wants to make the most money for his business activities, and so he allowed this to happen. But for the most part, most men wouldn't do it, and I think Jason Love is right. Most men would not allow their women to be shared around like that because it not only your woman takes a hit for it emotionally, but men take a hit for it status-wise. That's what we've talked about on Talk Live. And the one thing that men cannot stand is to have their status lowered, especially in the eyes of the public. So, but again, Adam's more capitalist than moralist, and only saw the dollar sign rather than what it would do to him psychologically and in the eyes of other men.
Because of, how to say, mental maturity.
Well, it would be kind of weird for you to find a dude bigger than you. Maybe they could resurrect Andre the Giant or something. Maybe you could get Brock Lesnar to come through and cut it up for you. But I mean, you're kind of like the biggest dude that I could think of. I don't know. It's going to be tough for you to find a bigger guy.
Oh, they got a couple.
Yeah.
But it's not just the size; it's everything that goes into it that makes it.
Definitely. Lena is just like shriveling up into a ball right now. I can see how uncomfortable this is making you.
Yes, it is making me very uncomfortable, and I'm glad that he's only, on Zoom and not here right now.
You think that would be awkward?
Yes. Also, I would feel like I'd feel a lot of sexual tension, and I felt like we would have to do a scene if you guys were both here.
She's
another cuck move, ladies and gentlemen. She slipped that in. Pardon the pun. You cannot make this stuff up. She has made her husband a cuck, and then she has told him to his face that if Jason Love was in the building, she'd have her way with him. If that's not insulting enough, I don't know what is. And let this show go on. If not, we'll have to extend it to to tomorrow. We'll get it in tomorrow if this show runs on. The fact that Adam 22's demeanor to this whole encounter, to this whole controversy, totally changes on a dime when this is actually discussed. And hey, he finally sees sense, but by that time it's too late. The genie's left the bottle, and Adam has his own capitalist mindset to deal with. But we'll continue on with this.
Hair.
I've been known to have that effect. I apologize.
See, all right. Now I'm going to have to really mind you next time you're going to an adult event that he's going to be at, right?
No, but I would be turned on if you were there. Yeah, it's like you're part of it.
So you think that if me and you go out to a party and we see him, that there's a chance that we'd all end up hooking up after?
I don't know what his stance is on working with you.
Oh, wow. Good point, yeah.
I don't care.
Oh, hell yeah.
I get it in regardless.
Damn, that would be, I can see that. That would probably kind of make me feel like I'd put a cap on this whole situation if we all did it together. Wow, maybe that is the three-way that we should do, because that would be pretty viral rather than just some random guy, right?
Yeah.
It would be crazy.
As long as I'm not sitting in a chair with my fucking arms tied behind my back or whatever.
You gotta hold the camera for one shot.
All right, so now I gotta rewrite the script.
Yeah, what do people need to know about Jason Love, since like you're kind of, I almost feel like a large percentage, maybe even the majority of the photos that you're going to be taking over the next year or so, it's going to be people saying like, you're the dude who fucked Adam 22's wife. I don't know. I mean, I know you get recognized all the time, but it's kind of an interesting scenario that you're in now, right?
I got stopped on the street like 4 or 5 times already. Normally it's just to talk to me about me, but then they're like, no jump with wife. I'm like, yeah, I guess.
Wow, insane.
Like, take a picture with my wife, bro.
Yeah, you're gonna get more of those offers.
See, I've only had a couple people say that to me. I'm sure he gets that all the time.
All the time.
Right. So, if we do choose to have another kid, how am I going to know it's mine and not?
Okay, now we get a little debaucherous here, so we'll leave it at that. I mean, the best part of the video is when, indeed, she has confessed to him that, you know what, she basically liked it. She basically liked the video. She basically liked the scene. She basically liked being with Jason Love and would do it again. And would do it again with, of course, her husband involved. But yet, she even said herself that if it came to a choice of her being with Jason Love again without her husband, she'd do it. She'd do it wholeheartedly in a heartbeat. And that, again, is another piece of cuckdom that is, you know, rarely... is again forever discussed. I don't say rarely. I would say forever discussed on social media. It's crazy. It's absolutely crazy. But again, So we have their take on things. You can go into the rest of the video and see for yourself what went down. It's on the No Jumper on the No Jumper podcast website, and yeah, take a look at it for yourself. But again, it's a short video, but we basically got the gist of things in that Lena the Plug would cuck Adam 22 again. She would do it. She would do it wholeheartedly. Now, again, with that being said, let's get into another reaction video here, and this comes from another place here. We go to Aiden Live. Now Aiden Ross is a huge YouTuber. He's on 3 million subscribers already. He does these sort of controversial controversial interviews with people. With those in the public eye, people, pop culture icons and the like. So he couldn't resist this huge controversy that's out there, which puts morality at stake. And he has a certain moralist here, a certain conservative named Neon. And this is an interview that was conducted by Aiden Ross with Neon and Adam 22. And he basically, he holds Neon holds Adam's feet to the fire in his own eloquent way with regards to his choice of his wife being plugged by, Jason Love, who we've already seen right there. So let's get into it right here. Thank you very much for joining me on Talk to Talk live on IG and YouTube. Like, subscribe, comment. We're on the road to 1,000 subscribers. Let's go.
Neon's here. Neon, put your camera on. Neon, I asked Lena and I asked Adam. He called you an ins. Neon, put your camera on. Neon, put your camera on, Neon.
Let's get to the nitty and the gritty. He's still trying to fumble with his camera. Okay, let's go.
He's of age, I promise. So, Neon, go ahead and smile and wave. Give her a wave. So,
What's up, Neon?
nice to meet you. My boy Neon here, he's a great guy. He just hasn't had the fortune enough to have sex yet, but he's ready.
I'm waiting for the perfect girl, to be honest.
Yeah. Neon, what are your standards again?
I think you're the perfect one.
Me?
Yeah.
Why me?
I don't know. You just look beautiful to me. I have a question, Mr. Adam.
Yeah.
What the fuck is wrong with you, bro? Are you genuinely okay in that? Genuine question, bro. Are you fucking psycho?
What is the thing that you think makes me psycho?
I mean, you let your wife literally get trained by a black guy, bro. Are you fucking stupid?
It's just one guy. It's not really a train.
Yes, as I said, Neon goes in, and I mean in, on Adam 22, and so he should, as any man would, and let him cook.
Hold on. Let's backtrack, Neon, really quick.
Look, those 3 virgins in the back just smiling. Fucking virgins. Fuck you.
Listen, Neon. Hold on, Neon. This is
bro. Because I'm gonna be honest. I'm a Muslim and I don't fuck with this shit. Dead ass. That's why I'm a virgin. I'm waiting for marriage, and I don't fuck with this.
So Allah told you to not get any pussy, or what? Or did you read it in the Quran somewhere?
Yo, Neon.
I don't know who in their right mind is fucking you, first off. Second off, if I wanted to, I could easily fuck your bitch. And I put that on my mother's life. Wallahi. Fuck you.
I don't think you got it in you.
Yeah, I don't got it in me. I will beat your ass, bro.
You won't.
Yeah, okay. All right, bro. So, Lena, do you think I look good, be honest?
No, I'm not down. I just saw this whole interaction play out, and I was like, definitely not fucking this guy.
Hold on, back up. Everyone back the fuck up. Neon, hold on. Real quick. Before you got in here, Adam said, he would have considered it, but now it's probably never gonna happen. Yeah, Neon,
I'm sorry. In that case, I apologize, sir.
But if you're super religious, wouldn't we need to be married and stuff?
I mean, we can get married. Who gives a fuck about this guy on the top?
We're already married.
I mean, it's obviously not lasting. Look at this guy, bro. He's probably gonna die before he's 50, bro.
Yo.
So wait, you think you're a more high-value male than me?
No shit. I'm rich. I'm religious. I'm a good
How are you
kid.
rich? You're 19.
Trash bag as a backdrop?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, I don't think
Yeah, I'm gonna go out on a limb and say.
Yeah, buddy, you walked into that one. I even say give point taken to Adam 22 on that one. Trash bag as a backdrop, not a good look. Anyways, continue.
Have a higher net worth than you, unless you got really
Don't
lucky
care.
on
Don't
Bitcoin.
care. You're gonna burn in hell. You have literally no morals, and your wife's a whore. I said it. I don't give a fuck.
There
You're a
is
fucking
no
whore.
hell.
Okay.
I'm gonna do great in the afterlife, and my wife is a beautiful queen, Neon.
Okay. Cool.
So
You're
you really think
delusional?
that her value
I think you're actually
plummeted
more
that
delusional than that fat
dramatically as
tranny
a
I
result
talked to
of
on
one
God.
cock entering her besides my own?
Huh?
You really think that one cock entering her depleted her value that dramatically?
Yes.
I can assure you it wasn't that big a deal. I mean,
It
it was probably a
wasn't.
bigger deal.
Yeah,
back
it
then.
wasn't that big. Yeah, letting your wife get trained by a 10-inch fucking. I can't say that word, but
Yeah.
I don't know, bro. Like,
All right.
I'm just like, fucked up in the head right now. Like, I don't know
if
what's
you were-
going on, bro.
If he was gonna drop a hard R, I know what kind of guy you are now. Can we? Where's the kick mods? He was gonna say hard R kick. He was gonna say
Neon.
it.
Wait, Neon, you were?
Fuck, why are you weird for even thinking that? Are you racist, bro?
I saw your mouth forming the hard R.
Yeah. I mean, I'll say it right now. I don't give a fuck. I have nothing to lose in life, bro. So.
All right. Everybody just,
I said it on Fresh and Fit.
everybody, just take it back a notch, Look,
I didn't see it, but
Neon, here's the thing. I understand you may not, I don't really agree with them either, but there's other ways of going at it, So, Neon,
Other way.
I got love for Adam. I've known him for years, Neon. He was my first podcast ever that popped off. What?
don't you think you should worry about getting some pussy before you start
I
judging
could if I
how other
want to.
people's
Fuck you
adult
and your shitty
sexual
podcast.
lives play
Suck
out?
my dick with your mother's lips. Fuck you. I don't care,
You've
bro.
never even gotten your dick sucked. You're not allowed to use that insult. You have no
Tell me
fucking
I have. I
life
swear. Oh
experience.
God, I have. But all right.
Wait, Neon.
No, Neon. Even I gotta say. Okay, let's stop this for a second. Neon.
You've been talking to this girl. You actually fucked her?
Nah, I'm working on it.
Did she go to another?
Neon, man, you're embarrassing yourself, man. I thought this would be way different. Again, ladies and gentlemen, this is the first time I'm watching this video myself. Neon, I thought that he had, a few retorts. Yeah, again, he had the morality play, and Lord knows that's the only thing he could run on. However, for him to go out there insulting the woman and the guy, just swearing at all ends of decorum, it's a bit sad. It's a bit sad, Neon. Sorry, but I'll give you a bit more time, and then we're gonna go and see somebody else about the real morality play here.
Other school?
I graduated, retard.
Right. Okay.
You have such a punchable face. I want to kill you, bro. I swear to God, bro.
I
ever
mean,
see
that's
IRL,
true that
I'm
I'll
gonna
beat you up
murder
in
you,
a
bro.
fight, too. It's like you have all these dreams. You want to fuck my girl. You want to beat me up, but in reality, you're a virgin with a trash bag hanging over your window
No,
in your
the
room.
trash bag, bro. God damn it, dude.
You live with your parents, you fucking scumbag.
Yo, you motherfucker. You piece of shit.
And he's right.
I
Lena.
don't know what you're laughing at, bro. You're like 50.
All right. Listen, he's taking a hard L on this one, Neon. Sorry about that. We're moving on, quite simply. There's nothing else to be said. So we're moving on to the man himself, the man who can really have a take on this whole controversy, and that is Andrew Tate. Andrew Tate is recently interviewed by Tucker Carlson, and he brought this subject up. And it'll be brought full circle because... we'll show it in a minute if you haven't seen it already. Thank you very much for joining me on Talk live on IG and YouTube. Like, subscribe, comment, run the road to 1,000 subscribers. Andrew has his take on the Adam 22 controversy, on the Adam 22 Lena Plug, Jason Love controversy. And, hey, it's as good as it gets. Let's get into it.
Adam 22 situation, and unless you're living under a rock, you probably know the situation. It's all over Twitter. This
Okay, let's move it.
random dudes, whilst Adam 22 is promoting it heavily. He said, "Yeah, guys, leave a like on the video and subscribe with notifications."
Moving on.
Adam 22. Once again, I have no idea who this man is. I just saw on Twitter yesterday that he was with a porn star who'd never done a male scene. They got married, and like a week after their marriage, she did her first male scene with some random dude, and he's on a podcast defending him.
But his wife had sex with somebody else?
Correct. Why? Like, this is the level you can. But this is what the Matrix wants from you, isn't it? They want the woman in charge, and the man below with no backbone. Because if the woman's in charge, they can emotionally affect her. They can scare her. You can scare a woman easier than you can scare a man. A real man's hard to scare. A woman you can make afraid of the vaccine, right? Be afraid. COVID. Be scared. If she's in charge of the household, I would argue in nearly any household where the female was dominant, everyone's vaccinated. I would argue that point hard.
Of course.
Maybe I'm wrong, but I would argue it. I don't have the statistics. It's just logic to me. So Talk about
Before we go into that, I think we just break down that last comment there. You know, Andrew Tate's absolutely right. He's absolutely correct on this. How this man gets railroaded is beyond me. But quite simply, this is another, again, I don't know, well, yeah, let's face facts. The ones who controlling that relationship is indeed Lena the Plug. It ain't Adam 22. It is not. It is not, and you'll see it as we go along tonight and maybe even tomorrow that indeed Adam 22 is a cuck. Let's call it. Let's call it what it is. Adam 22 is a cuck. Lena the Plug controls that relationship, and it is part of modern culture to have the woman, a stronger woman and a weaker male, so that, and the woman control relationships. Quite simply. And for men to kowtow to said, you know, power struggle within that relationship in order for there to be a docile, more obedient society, quite simply. And it's played out in real time with this Adam 22 wife situation where Adam 22's wife wanted to sleep with Jason Love. She got her wish. And now, as we've seen here on Talk to Ty Live earlier on, she wants to sleep with Jason Love again. In fact, she would like, and has been shown, she wants to have a scene with Jason Love and Adam 22. But I don't know if when we see the full length and breadth of the footage here, that may not indeed be the case anymore. But anyway, but it's true. I think there's a morality play here. I think there's a loss of morals going on here, and it is to the advantage of women, to be fair and frank. Let's continue.
about women being unhappy, what's actually interesting about the female mind, once again, they're going to call me misogynist, is that when you're an emotionally led person, you're more prone to chaos. It takes real stoicism to lead. So why are these women unhappy? Because no one's leading them. No fathers, no men of no backbone, no man they respect. So they're relying on society, which is promoting chaos, and their own mental state. Women will say all the time, my period was coming up, so I was crazy. Like, they'll say that themselves. So without any kind of hard rock of emotional security, to give her a hug and say, don't worry, baby, calm down, it's okay. When you have no hard rock of emotional security, you leave her to her own devices, she's going to be, to a degree, chaotic. And you know who told me this? A woman said this to me. A woman said, most women are closer to a mental breakdown than you possibly believe, day by day. I was like, really? She goes, yeah, and that's what I love about my husband. He makes me feel happy and secure and safe. If I'm starting to have a problem, I know I go to him, and he makes me feel safe. He's my rock. There's a woman.
And well said, Andrew. Well said, Andrew, again. The man is supposed to be the rock in the relationship, especially emotionally. Do you see any rock in the relationship between Adam 22 and Lena the Plug? I don't think so. I don't think so. And as we go on with this program, you'll see how Adam 22 breaks down and loses his stoicism, loses his sense of moral control of this whole situation. And it is actually Lena the Plug who's in the driver's seat, not him. I think for a good percentage of that time, I mean, Adam 22 owned the fact that, he allowed his wife to sleep with someone else. He took ownership for that, took accountability for it, and said, you know what, it was for profit, and we made a lot of money out of this. So he seemed to he dissuaded any of this, this cuck sort of accusations against him, and he did his best to shun it. But at the end of the day, it finally got to him, and you'll see the reason why it finally got to him in due course. However, Andrew Tate is right. Andrew Tate is indeed right. I think the moral high ground is going to Lena the Plug in this instance, to a point where Lena gets what she wants, and she can be emotionally erratic at any time. And Adam 22 is not that moral grounding and foundation needed in any sort of positive and good going relationship between man and woman. Let's go.
Said this to me a long time ago. So why are women miserable? Because where are they going to get their happiness from? Where are they going to get their emotional stability from? It's not their job. I don't believe it's a woman's job to be emotionally stable. It's a woman's job to do many other very important things that men can't do. More important, they're better than men at a lot of things, women are. But it's our job to be emotionally stable. Women are better than us at certain things. We're better at other things. And that's why, as a team, we're so powerful. To sit and pretend we're all the same the whole way through, then why do we even need each other?
Well, I don't think we do.
You're exactly it. And this is why we have birth rates declining, porn, women who are running around sharing one man with no intention of having children, marriage is gone. Like, where do we think this is going to end? And what's interesting about
Well, it ends with the training thing, right?
Complete. Well, yeah, that's the ultimate.
No, I'm serious though. Is it? I mean, if there's no, I mean, scrambling the idea of the gender binary of sex differences, like that is kind of the end point, isn't it?
Well, the end point is, yeah, men are the same as women, so it doesn't even matter.
Right.
I can be a woman today, be a man tomorrow. None of it matters anymore.
Excellent point made again by Andrew Tate. It's true. It ends in this sort of androgynous sort of zone that we're in right now, where a man could be considered a woman can be considered a man, and it can't be questioned. Where, let me see, transformers, transgender people can participate in male and female sports, knowing that if one goes through puberty as a man, you are definitely stronger, you are definitely faster, you can cause more damage to a woman than the strongest woman ever could. And this is where we stand right now. There's no sense of morals. There's no sense of standing with, and religion is done by the wayside. Marriages are on the wane. Kids are growing up fatherless, and in so doing, have no moral compass. There seems to be it's the devolution of rules, regulation, and order. Quite simply, when we allow, and we allow also the fact that where many women can be with one man, as will be seen in due course. Let's just get there for a second now. I made sure I had this in sequence. Where are we here? Is it this one? Yes. Perfectly put. So let's just move this a little further here. Yes. And we'll continue with this conversation because, again, I think Andrew Tate is on the right track here. Andrew Tate has had a lot of mud slung on him, thinking he's a misogynist, thinks that he hates women, when in fact that is not the case. It has never been the case, and it's no clearer than in this interview with Tucker Carlson. I think he really sets the record straight as to what male and female gender roles are, how the world is devolving at its core. And it is due to the fact that the nuclear family is, on a destructive path. And there seems to be no moral grounding anymore with regards to things. And it seems that all can be done for the almighty dollar, even if it affects the next generation, as will be seen in this Adam 22 debacle that is going that will go forward into later years, especially if they ever have kids. I hope they don't have any kids because, quite simply, what will be visited on them will be a lot of shame, rebuke, hate, embarrassment, and and no child deserves that, especially one done for the almighty dollar. But we continue with the interview with Andrew Tate and Tucker Carlson because Andrew goes into a bit more on this subject, and I want him to, fully flesh out this discussion point, and I'll let him get into it. Thank you very much for joining me on Talk Live. Like, subscribe, comment on the road to 1,000 subscribers. Let's do this.
What do you think of women?
I think women are some of the most powerful people on the planet. Firstly, a lot of the conversations we're having, most people don't understand that women are the gatekeepers, and women are the ultimate judges. Women are the ultimate judges, especially of sexual access, right? So when I say that maybe 40% of the letters I got in jail were from women, just love letters, perfume on them, and kiss marks. And the traditional masculine role is still respected and loved by so many women. If you were to ask the average woman on the street who hasn't lost her mind what she wants in a man, she would like to be financially provided for, physically protected. I love women. I think they are the most powerful and precious things on the planet. They give life. But I believe that when you love a woman, you should want to protect her and provide for her and take care of her. I don't believe you love a woman by wanting to do everything she says and cucking to her. I don't believe that because I love women, I should have no standards in what I expect in a woman. I don't think loving women is sitting there going, a woman can do whatever she wants to me and I put up with it. I don't think that's loving women at all. I think loving women is saying, I'm going to be the best man I can be. And the only way I'm going to be a good man is with a degree of standard. And I'm going to be the best man I can be for you. And when I say these things, I get attacked for being a misogynist. Because
Well, how is that?
Perfect answer there by Andrew Tate. I dare anyone to call Andrew Tate a misogynist after that statement. Because he is saying exactly what women want in a man. Exactly. They want a protector, they want a provider, they want a leader. There's no doubt about that. Deep down, even the most harshest feminist wants a man just like that. They've even gone on record on social media, in shorts, on TikTok and on YouTube, that they, even as the most harshest feminists, would like to bring home a man who is a protector and provider. A traditional man. And there's no sense of hate from Andrew Tate for women in that subject matter. He actually gives women praise for this. He actually gives women praise for them being best at certain things. Being best at being nurturers, being best at being tradition bearers, being best at bringing families together, being best at, at being best at social awareness. They're way better than men at that. They're way better than men at that. But as a man, one must be the emotional rock. One must be the one to say no when a woman says yes, and not be allowed for himself to be cucked by a woman by bending to her will and airs and graces at every beck and call. You must be the emotional rock. That's what a man is supposed to do. And is that what Adam 22 did? Hell no, he didn't. That's why Neon went off on him. I mean, he did it in a really weird and sort of post adolescent sense, quite simply, with with only swear words and nothing to back it up, quite simply, and it totally went off the rails from there. But Andrew is right. Andrew is exactly correct on this. Men are supposed to be the emotional backbone of the relationship, and quite simply, there is no emotional backbone in terms of the Adam 22 Leader of the Plug wedding, marriage, relationship. None. There is no moral compass here. All they're in for is the dollar. And if a woman has to be sexually exposed and degraded so that they make that dollar, if Adam 22 is supposed to be cucked for that almighty dollar, so be it. They don't care. They do not care. And someone has to stand up on the other side and say, no, that is wrong, because that used to be the way. And this devolution of morals and ethics must be stopped at all costs. And you know who's standing up for it? Andrew Tate, the one you say. There's a lot of lies being made up about Andrew Tate, but he has this situation spot on. Someone has to take a stand, especially when morals are corrupted to this extent. And it cannot be understated that, Andrew Tate is speaking the truth. He has been misunderstood. And people need to take a better and closer look at him instead of looking at clips whereby, that make absolutely no sense and have no moral have no real basis in truth whatsoever.
I think misogynist means someone who hates women.
Correct, because I have conversations with women who are, let's say, I've done some podcasts with women who are very promiscuous. And I've explained to them that since the dawn...
A.K.A. Brittany Renner. Remember that? That was a huge one. But I'll let Andrew continue.
On of human time, in every single society across the planet, promiscuity in females has been frowned upon.
Yes, that's true.
It hasn't been frowned upon in men, but it has been in women. I explained
in a big way.
In a big way. In many parts of the world to this day, you can't get married if you're not a virgin. I'm not saying all women should be virgins. I was explaining to her that female promiscuity has always been hated. In every holy book, it's disliked. You've bought into this new thing the last 10 years, and you seem to think it's empowering. And I would argue that it's not empowering. And I sat there and had a conversation with this promiscuous woman, and I said to her that she is doing herself a disservice, and she's dishonoring herself, and she's never going to be happy or fulfilled jumping from bed to bed. And I was told that this makes me misogynistic because women are empowered and they can make whatever choices they want, and I'm insecure to believe that a woman who slept with 300 men is somehow changed mentally, and her ability to bond and love a man has been affected by that.
A woman making her own choices sexually, you're going to get this sort of pushback saying that you're misogynist, you're toxic, you're anti-woman, you are indeed, going against not allowing a woman to choose her morals and her rights, when in fact it is that is lowering her standing in the eyes of men. But we can't allow that. We can't. A woman is supposed to, have as many partners as possible, and we're supposed to be accepting of that, knowing that women can pair bond once given that amount of partners. They don't have I wouldn't say mental capacity. I would say they don't have the emotional wherewithal to deal with 300 partners and consider themselves safe and available for marriage and long-term relationships. It doesn't happen. It doesn't happen. But you can't tell a woman that. You can't. You just can't. You can't do that. They should be. They think that women are equal to men and they should have their own morals and they can do what they please and they will morally and emotionally adjust and psychologically adjust. That is not the case. The chances of women dealing with mental health issues into their later years, once promiscuous to a high extent, is higher, way higher, once you have at least more than 20 to 30 bodies at a time. Way higher. Those in the porn industry usually can't pair bond with those with those in the in normal society, and they can only marry men within the industry. If left to their own devices, most of these women are alone. They don't have partners. Not only do men rule them out because of their high body counts, but and their position as X-rated models and X-rated and triple X-rated actors and actresses. But there is a soul-destroying proposition to which they cannot be with one man and yet satisfied. And Andrew clearly points this out in his last statement. There's nothing wrong with what he has to say, but yet he'd be considered a misogynist for pointing it out. He'd be considered he'd be considered toxic. He'd be considered sexist when he's just pointing out the truth because he's a man. He's a man's man. He wants to protect, provide, and protect the morals of a woman. He's absolutely right in saying that the Bible and most countries who adhere to a religious edict do not accept promiscuous women. In certain societies, a woman who is only of a virgin status can get married. He's absolutely correct. But don't point that out here in the West. You don't do that. Because you're going against the gynocratic morals and agenda of the day. Can't do it. Can't point that truth out. Not in this day and age where most women over 25 have at least 20 to 30 bodies at a time. And yet, they are to be considered as equal to those who have never had sex with a man at all. Because, again, that speaks to a man's wants and needs, and can't have that now, can you? Oh, well.
I love women, and so I've seen it, and that is true what you said.
The thing that's interesting is that women intrinsically understand this.
Yeah.
Because if you see a woman dislike another woman, that's the first name she calls her. Slut. It's the first thing a girl says to a girl she doesn't like. It's the biggest insult that comes to her mind is that
Yes.
she's promiscuous, right? So it's interesting, but
Next insult, calling them a gold digger. Take it from me. Don't call a woman a gold digger. It sets them off. It really does. It triggers them. Anyways.
I've been called a misogynist for that. And then I've been on the internet for a long time. I've made some jokes. I've made some videos, and people don't understand satire or comedy. There's one that they keep repeating. I made a joke. Next to my bed, I had a Glock, like many people do, and then I had a knife next to my bed, and there was a comedic skit where it said, "The girl caught me cheating, and she picked up the knife, and I slapped it out of her hand and said, 'You still love me?'" And they cut the bit out where I talked about the girl attacking me with the knife. They just took the bit where I say, "Slap the knife out of her hand, you're the boss," da-da-da. And he's a misogynist, and it's just taken out of context. And that's another thing that's happened to me, and I am aware of this, and like I said, I take absolute self-accountability, but the way you make jokes and make videos when you get 100 views is very different than the way you make a joke or make a video when you get millions of views. And when they're trying their best to they look at a 4-hour video and find 3 seconds. I'll give you an example of it, where it hurt me very recently. I did a podcast where I was discussing corruption. I discussed which country I believe is the most corrupt country in the world. They start a lot of wars. And the answer to that by the person I was discussing it with is, well, you live in Romania, Romania's corrupt. I said, Romania is corrupt, correct. But I don't think there's certainly corruption, but they don't start monumental wars which end up in millions of deaths. I would argue that their corruption, because a policeman stops me and I can bribe my way out of a parking ticket or a speeding ticket, is far less destructive. So we discussed this at length for hours. They cut out the bit where I said Romania is corrupt and showed it to the judge. It kept me in jail. Ooh. Yeah. So that's my problem in a nutshell. Long format content will find a little bit, edit it up, and try and attack me with it. And that's where this whole misogynistic things come from. It's either from me arguing with promiscuous women on podcasts designed for promiscuous women to argue their point, and I destroy them so flawlessly that I'm a bad person, or something taken out of context. And it's insane because, like I said, the amount of support I get from women is actually monumental. The amount of mothers who write to me and say that their son's doing better than ever. The amount of women who write to me and say that their boyfriend's doing better than ever. The amount of women who love me and just want to meet me. This idea that I'm hated by women is probably the biggest lie about this whole story. I don't want to brag, but I can assure the world that's absolutely not true. I had thousands of letters of support from women. In fact, there was one girl.
Before he gets into that one girl, again, this is one thing that the world, especially the Western world, especially the developed world, does not want to hear. And that is a strong man in charge of his views, stating things that go against the gynocratic agenda. It really does. What he's saying right now, in them taking him out of context, him considering a misogynist, even though he pointed out a woman's promiscuous ways, even though that is the wrong thing to do, a.k.a. what Keke Palmer did, that is totally promiscuous, and that has led to the devolution of her relationship with Darius Jackson. Her with her titties and her ass hanging out, but you're not supposed to say anything about that, even though you know full and darn well what her intentions were. Get the most eyeballs on her, to get the adulation and attention she wants, and to make her boyfriend jealous. She did it all in one fell swoop. And yet when she's called out on it, you're supposed to feel sorry for her. Unbelievable. Simply and utterly unbelievable. And the fact of the matter is, Andrew has a right to say what he wants to say because he's pointing out the truth. Women are more promiscuous these days than ever before. That's not supposed to be a problem. Even though men don't want promiscuous women to this extent. Yes, we understand that it's hard to find virgins these days, but where is the moral standing going to come from? When is the line not to be crossed? Especially in the developed world. I think, if you go into places such as South America, places such as Africa, places such as Asia, places such as Eastern Europe, these sort of moral chapters will not pass, but even they are ebbing away. Even they are ebbing away, and something must be said about it, and Andrew's telling the truth. But he's being silenced for it because it goes against a certain agenda.
Never met her. She would play love songs from her car outside the jail. So she'd put the music on and play love songs. And I managed to tweet out via my cousin the songs I wanted to listen to. White Snake, Is This Love? And she and she played them for me. Never met her. Don't know who she is.
So you're in a Romanian prison cell.
Okay, this is where it really falls off the rails right here. But again, I think he gets things. Let me just move this on a little bit further. If he has anything further to say, then we'll get to it.
Sexual orientation and my generally masculine essence than I've ever had anybody say anything about my skin color ever. And I'll also say, if somebody has a real problem with my skin color, who cares? If someone's that ignorant, who gives a shit? Like, it's also.
Okay, he goes into a little thing, and again, we will at a later date go into this Andrew Tate interview in depth because I feel this is a fascinating interview. It is the interview finally that Andrew Tate really wanted to have, in which he gets his views across in a more salient and complete and comprehensive sort of way, and he is not interrupted by a woman who clearly has an agenda to make him look bad and make him look like a misogynist and a and a woman who hates women, who hates women, and a woman who is a man who's against women and against the gynocracy at large. He's actually he praises women, he praises them for their attributes. And he wants only to protect, provide, and lead them. So, nothing wrong with that, but BBC doesn't want to hear that because it goes against the gynocratic agenda. But again, let's move on here because, again, we go on to the second interview where actually we see Adam 22 and Andrew Tate, as of this week, have a interview with Andrew Tate, which is shout out to Aiden Ross. He is just nailing it right now. He is at the zeitgeist. He is nailing all these interviews that we all want to hear and we want to see. So do subscribe, of course. And yeah, let's get into this right quick.
And you're trying to make me say something which could be deemed offensive, and that's not what I'm going to do.
I'm not. You have a black microphone in your face. It's very nice.
Is it? Hello.
Hey, Lena.
Hi, guys.
Do you hear me?
Yes.
Yeah, I can hear you all. Hello.
Lena, Adam, we can't hear you. Lena, this is my friend. I don't know if you've heard of him before. His name is Andrew Tate.
Never heard of him. Hi, nice to meet you.
Nice to meet you. How are you?
I'm pretty good.
That's good. Yeah, good.
Lena, I can see you know you have a black microphone in your face. It's very nice.
Does it remind you of anything?
Andrew?
We have to be very careful with this conversation, and I'm going to explain why. Let's start by setting some ground rules, because it's very nice to meet these two people, and I've never met them in real life, and I believe in being respectful to everybody. That's who I am as a person. I believe in treating everybody with respect, and even if we're going to have an interesting conversation, and we're going to have disagreements in this debate, perhaps, that might evolve, I'm not going to sit here and insult anybody. That's not who I am. So I know what you're trying to make me do, Aiden. You're trying to make me say something which could be deemed offensive, and that's not what I'm going to do.
I'm not.
Okay? We're all...
Oh, yes, he's trying to do that. He's absolutely trying to do that. Please come back, and we're going to get into this whole interview on IG. Yeah, it is spicy. It is saucy. Believe me. And yeah, Aiden's looking for controversial takes. Make no doubt about that. Listen. He brought these two people together to get views, to get those sort of salacious takes and these hot takes that would only allow for more viewership. But again, join me for part 2 of this right soon. We're back here on Talk Talk Live. Thank you very much for joining me. We have finally came to the interview that a lot of people were waiting for. I'm just going to give my hot take. This happened, I believe, as of yesterday. That is the interview between Adin Ross. I believe it was yesterday, right? Because today's the 20th. Yesterday being the 19th. Yes, one day ago, as of yesterday. You're right. And already had 2 million views, as we said. Number 37 trending for gaming. But Adin Ross has brought these two together. These two, controllers of pop culture at the moment. Adam22, Lena the Plug, and Andrew Tate. And Andrew Tate is just setting the ground rules for this occasion, for this chat that both are having. And listen, Andrew never fails to disappoint. Let's go.
Start by setting some ground rules, because it's very nice to meet these two people, and I've never met them in real life, and I believe in being respectful to everybody. That's who I am as a person. I believe in treating everybody with respect, and even if we're going to have an interesting conversation, and we're going to have disagreements in this debate, perhaps, that might evolve, I'm not going to sit here and insult anybody. That's not who I am. So I know what you're trying to make me do, Aiden. You're trying to make me say something which could be deemed offensive, and that's not what I'm going to do.
I'm not sure.
Okay?
Yes, he is. He's trying. He's absolutely trying. Sure he is.
You have a lot more in common than we have separating us, because believe it or not, the Matrix has been out to get me too. So,
Has it? Tell me how.
Oh, they've been trying to cancel me for years. All kinds of made-up sexual assault bullshit and everything under the sun. The same exact playbook that they've been using to try to take you out the game. So you may disagree with some of our sexual proclivities, but believe me and Andrew Tate, we're victims of the same struggle. Shout out to Tupac.
And I think once you get to a certain level of fame and influence, every single man's going to be hit with this. I mean, the reason Aiden hasn't been hit by it is because it's just so unbelievable. Everyone knows Aiden's fucking full of shit.
I literally have, though, bro. I got canceled like 30 times, bro. 30 times.
For hanging around with chicks? They said you like had sex with a girl or whatever. You got sexual assault.
No, nothing like that. Thank God I
That's
haven't
exactly
had that.
what I mean. Yeah, because everyone knows you're not getting laid, so that's fine. But when you're an actually high status male,
What you
that happens.
Whatever, bro. Cool.
And so it can't be true.
Say again, sorry.
I know
Trans girls.
I know girls who have fucked Aiden, so I don't think that's totally true.
What? How do you know this?
I know all about you, Aiden.
Tell me all about Aiden.
Bro, hey. What is this,
He's
bro?
out. I know like 10 trans chicks that Aiden fucked.
All right, see, now people are going to believe that shit. It's not true at all. Come on, bro. You know it's not true.
Aiden?
Andrew, I swear to God, I've never fucked a trans girl before. All my life, and I never will.
Let me tell you all a story. When I was about 25, I was living in Thailand. And I must be the only man who lived in Thailand because I was fighting. So I lived there for 2 years. And I lived there, and I must be the only man who lived in Thailand. I've never paid for sex, never slept with a prostitute, none of the weird shit. So I'm living in Thailand, and I had this Russian girlfriend, and then she went back to Russia, and I was a bit lonely, and I thought, okay, I'm going to try and get myself a new girlfriend. And by coincidence, the same day, I met this beautiful Swedish girl, and she was backpacking. And I met her, and I went up to her and started saying hello, blah, blah, blah. We agreed to go for a drink that night. After talking to her, I was walking home, and as I was walking, this transsexual, who must have been about 55, 56, had a couple teeth missing, some man, clearly a man, I don't want to, misgender, clearly a man, but was a transsexual, was walking across the road from me, and he/she pointed at me and said, "Hey, I can tell by how you walk. You have a big dick."
What the fuck?
And I looked back at this transsexual and thought, well, I'll take the compliment. And I said, yes, that's true. Thank you very much. And I continued on my walk. That was the end of the story. Until 9 o'clock rolls around, I get on my motorcycle. I go down to this bar to meet this Swedish girl. I'm sitting there. I get drinks on the table. She turns up 20 minutes late. And I'm sitting there with the Swedish girl. And after an hour and a half of drinking and enjoying each other's company, I'd already kissed her twice. I was due to go back to her house because my house was a dump and she had more money than me. And we're going to go and stay at hers. When the transsexual walks in the bar, and in front of the entire bar, she walks in and points to me across the bar and goes, "Dick!" And the entire bar stops.
What did
and
she
looks,
say?
Big dick. She said big dick.
And the entire bar stops and looks at her, the old transsexual with missing teeth, and then looks at me. And I tried to explain for the following 10 minutes to this Swedish girl that I've never slept with this person. I don't know why she says I have a big dick, and I've never been with her, and I don't know it. I just saw her on the street, and she didn't believe me. She went to the toilet and never returned. That's a story from when my lonely night in Thailand. That's true, and it completely happened.
You never give a ladyboy a shot?
I've never given a ladyboy a shot. No, am I missing out, Adam?
I haven't done it either, but I went out to Thailand when I was like 19, 20, and the ladyboys are out there. And some of them, even back then, this was like 20 years ago, they were doing a pretty impressive ruse. Like they looked like more of a woman than a lot of women that I know. So shout out to them.
I've seen a ladyboy
Jack, give me
kick the
questions
fuck out of a
to ask.
dude. It was a really interesting sight. He was saying some shit to her, running his mouth, and she literally fought like a man and beat the shit out of him. And it was pretty interesting to see. Heels on and everything.
All right, can I just address the elephant in the room? Why is nobody talking? Yo, so Lena, you just finished. I heard the video's going crazy on Pornhub. You guys crashed it.
It's on my OnlyFans.
Yeah.
Oh, sorry. So, Adam, if you don't, I'm sorry, Andrew. What happened was this. I don't know. Yeah, I don't know if you heard, Andrew. They did a video. Basically, Adam and them.
Here we go.
They've been married for a while. They have a beautiful family. And basically one day they decided to basically Adam said, "Hey, hon, you can go ahead and get a BBC by this guy." So they had a big black cock insert her puss, and
Was not in the video.
and that's
True.
pretty much what happened. And thoughts, Andrew?
Well, I think I mentioned this on one of my previous podcasts. I said that I wouldn't personally do that,
Bro.
but it's not my personal preference. But I want to make something clear. I'm really careful about what I say to people. I don't want to insult anybody. That's not who I am as a person. If that's their personal decision to make, then they can make their own personal decisions and do as they please. I'm not here to sit and say they shouldn't do it. All I can say is that I wouldn't personally do that. That's not something I would allow my woman to do. So perhaps I'm missing something. Maybe you can tell me why I'm wrong. I'm not sure.
Would you guys let your wife do?
Again, well said there by Andrew Tate, and shout out to MTR for this one notion that was raised, and that Andrew Tate is facing prosecution, and the eyes of the world are upon him. The sword of Damocles dangles over him, and any false move on Andrew's part can easily have him locked up that night. So he doesn't want any sort of controversy. Doesn't want any sort of improper takes to be attuned to his name, because quite simply he could be locked up for it. So he understands that what he says and what he does are being closely monitored, and he doesn't want any sort of negative outcome to be of this. So again, he has to take the moral high ground, which again is the smart thing to do in this instance. And I think being the moral high ground in this interview is the right way to go for Andrew.
The thing that the most important piece of context that is missing is the fact that we already had been doing porn for, maybe 5-6 years, or really since the very beginning of our relationship. And, she is 32. She is a mother. Realistically, she's not going to be doing this forever. But we decided that it made a lot of sense for her to, seize upon the moment, the fact that she's still got her youth about her, and slurp up a black cock for the fucking paper, man.
He liked it. He liked watching the video.
Yeah, I was kind of turned on that. I'm not gonna lie.
So there it is. As I was already explained, Adam 22 feels totally indifferent to having his woman be subjected to sex from another man. And a big other man, to be fair, that in the guise of Jason Love, as was clearly said in the prior commentary on the Tucker Carlson interview. This represents the devolution of Western society in a nutshell, where a husband and wife would allow another man to enter their relationship, have her way with his wife. They film it for the world for profit. It is, in and of itself, it is the loss of moral standing within Western society, within this microcosm in and of itself. But again, Andrew's going to set him straight. Do it.
So my question would be, sorry, one more time. Lena, right? Correct? Lena,
yes.
Lena, do you think that you have an emotional attachment to this man now, or like you literally wouldn't care what happened to him? Let's say, heaven forbid, something, I don't know, he got locked up and went to jail or something. Like, would you care, or would you have zero interest in him as an individual?
Feel for him as I would feel for like almost anyone I'd ever met who went to jail, but like, no offense, Jason, I see you as like a male sex doll. Like you
So
were just
no emotional attachment to him whatsoever.
no. This is where I have my emotional attachment.
Okay, well then, if you're capable of keeping that divide, then I'm not here to insult you. And the reason I don't insult
he's
people, I also
nerfed.
want to make
He's
this very
nerfed,
clear,
chat.
is
He's
because
nerfed. I'm kidding.
maybe it's just the life I've lived. But I think the internet has fucked the world up. And I think one of the ways it's messed the world up is that everybody's constantly running their mouths. And the world I'm from and the life I've lived, if you insult somebody, it's you have to be prepared to defend that opinion. And I know people who have run their mouths and end up getting shot for it. And I don't like to sit around and insult people unless I have a genuine beef with them. So I'm not here to judge you or your life. I can just say that it's not something I would personally do.
Well,
if you feel like you have no emotional attachment to the guy, I think that's a good thing. I think your heart should be in one place.
Andrew,
And that's all I'm going to say.
objectively, you could definitely beat the shit out of me. But one time I was hanging out with the UFC fighter. I have a weird feeling knowing that your woman was in the arms of another man, even if it was only for a few hours. But it's interesting. You don't seem like you have as much of a real like moral issue with the act itself.
Well, I can give you my opinion on why I wouldn't ever do it. And I think the reason I wouldn't ever do it is because I believe that a man and a woman have a connection between them. And I think that connection is solidified by sexual exclusivity from the female's part. And I believe there's an energy cord between. And I think that once that's broken with another man, I do believe there's a degree of the connection which is damaged. And I think that when the relationship is good, perhaps you will not feel it. But when the relationship is bad, or when arguments start to happen, or you start to get on each other's nerves, you might notice a slight difference in behavior. Because I do also think that once the seal has been broken, I'll give you an example. The 4-minute mile was impossible to achieve, they believed, until one man ran the 4-minute mile, and then a bunch of people ran the 4-minute mile. So once the seal's been broken, for example, let's say your wife's sleeping with another man, the idea of sleeping with another man is not as intimidating as it was once was. And perhaps the idea of sitting through an argument or sitting through a rough patch in a relationship and continuing to try to work it out as opposed to just jumping on a new man, it might be less appealing than it once was previously. So I believe, personally, if my woman had already slept with another man, she's more likely to just give up on the relationship and sleep with another man again in a rough patch. That's my personal view.
Facts, chat.
Well said, Andrew Tate. Yes, yes, yes. Especially when you're dealing with a woman who's dealt with many zucchinis in her life. The amount of pair bonding that is the amount of the high standard of pair bonding that would go on for a woman like Lena the Plug would be at a very, very low ebb. She won't be able to pair bond because she has already done the do, and now that she has done it post-marriage to another man, it won't be as hard to do it again. Because as she's already gone on record to say, she was as we've seen in the first interview with Jason Jason Love. Sorry, Jason Love? Yeah. Let me just make sure of that here. Just a second. Yes, it's Jason Love, right? Yes, Jason Love. Jason Love. It's already gone on record with Jason. Jason Love's already gone on record to say that, you know, Lena Plug was very nervous starting the scene, but once she got into it, there was no turning back. She turned into, she became a pro and off she went. So it's not out of the question for her to do that once again with another man. The taboo is broken. Once the taboo is broken, all bets are off. All bets are off. And this is part of that moral fiber that's being broken down piece by piece in real time in the microcosm of this relationship. Because not only would other couples see this, other tight relationships will see this again, and this rule will be broken using this precedent. Interracial dating was hard at one time until Loving in Virginia came around. Now interracial dating is easy. Love and sex within marriage and breaking that rule was hard. Now seeing this, it'll be that much easier to do. Even though it is done in certain circles. I mean, it's called being in the lifestyle. It's called swinging. That happens. But this is bringing swinging to the mainstream because now it's seen as a popular thing. It's seen as a new thing. It's seen as a good thing on the part of Adam 22. And Andrew, the misogynist, the hater of all women, the red well, I think he shuns the red pill altogether with now, but the trad con of males, the traditional conservative man, he's literally saying, you know what? It's hard to put the genie back in the bottle. And he's absolutely right.
Say again?
Why would I? I mean, I've never cheated on you, like, even in the lowest terms of cheating, like responding to a DM from somebody or anything. Like, I've never done any of that. Everything in our relationship has been out in the open. You know, like all my messages with the person that I worked with, I was like, hey, just so you know, like, these are the messages. And like, Adam has fucked about 200 women in front of me, and he cheated on me. So, like, you know.
Adam, that's terrible.
We all got our issues. Hey, let me just tell you, about a half hour ago, I was laying on the floor in the adjacent office with a large Italian.
But again, to borrow from Fresh and Fit, it's much easier for a man to do that and come back to his wife than for a woman to do the other way. And because, again, once she's done that, she's more like, she's basically emotionally and morally checked out of the relationship. So for her to be allowed to do that with Jason Love is an issue here, but it won't be hard to do it again. Believe me, it won't be hard because she's done it once. So it'll take an emotional toll, but it won't be as hard to do again.
Ass shaking on top of my face. She does this thing called Brazilian face sitting.
He almost died.
It's going to appear on onlyplugtalk.com, which is our weekly podcast where we interview and then fuck a different girl every single week. And this girl was really cutting off my ability to breathe. And when I would grab her ass and try to move her ass off of my face, she would grab my hands and hold on to them so that I wasn't able to escape. And Lena was involved. She was giving me head during all this. And so, I don't know, like, do you feel like that affects our connection at all? Because I can, after having you shot with this guy, I can kind of understand why that shit doesn't matter to you, because you and the other guy don't really matter to me at this point.
I think it's, well, my personal view is that it's very different for a woman than it is for a man, and I think that... And
as I pointed out just now.
If your relationship reaches a rough patch, perhaps the idea of being with another man will be more tempting than it once previously was, because the seal's already been broken. That's my personal view. I don't, with all due respect, care what you want to do with your own relationship. If it makes you happy, it should make you happy, and that's fine. And it's your decision to make. It's not my decision to make. I'm just telling you that I wouldn't do it. I can give you admiration for a degree to how well you've dealt with the pressure, I guess, or the hate.
Key questions coming up. Don't worry, it's coming.
Well, which I guess is good. Not a lot of people can do that. So I have to give you some degree of respect for that. But I guess you expected all that before you made the decision to do it, right?
Yeah, I did. And I mean, I've caught a lot of flack because when you first commented on me on the Tucker Carlson show, I left an Instagram comment that said, if he's the top G, I want to be the bottom G. So I do want to extend an invite that if you were ever interested in doing your first ever double penetration scene, that me and Lena, I mean, I don't want to speak for you, but I feel like,
dude,
would he be a suitable candidate? Would you? Can I tap him in?
Oh, no.
Hold on, can I fill in real quick, Andrew? You know,
you're out. Aiden, we can't put you. You're not in this conversation anymore.
Fair enough. Go ahead, Andrew. Would you, Andrew? Would you double penetrate her, bro? Would you do that, Andrew? Go ahead. Finish the answer.
All together, is that chill?
There's absolutely 0% chance of that happening. And it's not because Elena is particularly unattractive. It's because she's married to Adam, and I have no interest in degenerate, pointless sex, and I have no interest in making a spectacle of myself, or even just involving myself in anything which I deem to be overall haram and pointless. It's just not something I'd be interested in. There's not a single amount of money on the planet you could pay me to undertake. So, thank you.
He's not doing.
Excellent answer from Andrew Tate. Point, set, game, match. Andrew. He has taken the moral high ground outside of Adam 22, outside of Lena the Plug, quite simply because they don't care. They literally don't care. They just believe in fast money, but they don't see the slow problems that will result. That is going to that will be the end result of their decisions. But Andrew said, you know what? There's no more amount of money that will allow me to be with your wife and to be in a scene involving you and your wife. No chance. He would not do it. And quite simply, It's due to the fact that this is haram. This is against the rules of his Muslim religion. It's against the rules of morality. It's against the rules of Stoicism, which is to be an upstanding citizen even in the midst of temptation. And shout out to Andrew Tate for doing that. Shout out to him. Most people consider him a misogynist. Most people consider him a woman hater. And he wouldn't take the bait. He would not take the bait. And Andrew's moral standing is made of sterner stuff, and he would not participate in anything that would ruin that sort of credibility, and that should be commended.
Because I respect you all so much.
I'm with Andrew, by the way. I couldn't get paid any amount of money to fuck. No offense. Adam, respect to you. Degenerate sex, I'm not with that. No amount of money.
Yeah, you make $1 a month sitting on your ass, so and that's from one sponsor, I think, right? So
stop exposing him.
No, I mean, I read it online.
But yeah, I'm with Andrew on that one. Andrew.
So do you two think you're going to stay together forever?
I mean, if Adam's cheats on me again, maybe not. But
I'm not a cheater anymore. I left that in the past.
that was not like
With the divorce, don't you think people are going to attribute it to?
It took 200 times to do it, but he is trying.
Like, I always think that we're going to be together forever. I mean, we didn't get married a long time ago. We just got married. But it is unfortunate that if, like, in 10 years we break up because, like, let's say he cheated on me, everyone's going to blame it on the fact that I fucked Jason in July of 2023.
I don't think
no one's going to think about anything else.
Nobody's going to be thinking about the fact that we did this in 10 years, which when you're in the middle of the storm and everybody's freaking out on you every day, it's kind of easy to feel like, oh, this is going to define.
Listen for Andrew's answer to this question. To this point,
it has been such a thing, but I don't really think that it's that likely to follow us 10 years into the future. I don't know.
My hope is to be with Adam.
Remember what I said all through the show. Fast money, slow problems. Listen to Andrew's answer to that question right here and now.
That is what I want.
And again, last thing I want to say is this. Well, not last thing, but I think I asked this, but wait, so Lena, which sex was better? Because you haven't had it. Jason was the first dick you've had, right?
You know what? Let me say something. I find this very uncomfortable to talk about. There's not many things I find uncomfortable, but I just find this uncomfortable to talk about. And the reason is not because, I mean, I'm an adult. I know what sex is, of course. I've lived a very varied life. I just feel like, I don't know. We have so many people watching us, and we're just talking about dick and vagina. Don't you think this is below us? I don't know. We're all pretty intelligent people. We talk about the Matrix and how they're trying to dumb us all down and trying to control all of our minds. And this base instinct talk, I find it very uncomfortable. I'm not comfortable being on this stream. If I was sitting with a woman next to me, the last thing I would talk about is our personal life. I just don't think it's the smart thing to do. And I don't think that it is. I don't have any interest in the personal sex life of any married couple, and I don't want to hear about it, and I don't want to talk about it, and I just find it very uncomfortable. I'm extremely uncomfortable in this situation. That's the truth.
Excellent answer from Andrew Tate. Probably the answer of the day. Not only does he put Adam 22 and Lena the Plug in their place, he shuts up Aiden Ross to a certain extent, gives him pause, and quite simply gives him the moral high ground. Gives him the moral high ground. Nothing that they say, nothing that they do from here on in can usurp that hegemony, that control that Andrew Tate has on this interview. He's now controlled the interview now. There's nothing they can say, there's nothing they can do to debase or discredit what that Andrew had to say right there. Nothing. Not only has he debased their decision and of bringing Jason Love and creating the sex scene, he's cheapened it. He's given them pause and made them think of what they've done. He made them think about their futures. He's given Aiden Ross pause as well and had him think, you know what? Maybe that wouldn't be the right choice for me going forward. He would never do that. And it gives Andrew Tate the moral high ground. Perfect answer. Perfect answer altogether. That's why Lena's switching around, because she realizes, oh, no matter what I do, there's nothing that can be said above that. No matter what I say, even Adam 22 has that on his under that realization as well. Nothing that I say can do. Nothing that I can say or do can top that. Nothing. So shout out to Andrew Tate for that, for finally saying what had to be said and bringing morals back to the table, because he's disgusted by the whole conversation. Didn't want to be brought into this conversation. Braden Ross wanted this conversation to get the views. Adam and Lena the Plug wanted to get in this conversation so that there's this other business opportunity that are made available, and showing that cash is king, and trying to get such an idea out to Andrew Tate's followers, who are in the millions and millions, and it basically guides the moral compass to higher ground. Doesn't want to be part of this baser instinct conversation. Too carnal, too negative for him to be involved with. And he just wants out of it. Well said, Andrew, for setting the moral course.
And I'm not saying that from a position of weakness. I'm saying it from a position of strength. I don't like talking about these things. I don't like talking about women getting fucked. I don't like talking about what I do with women. I don't like talking about any of it. I think that what I do in the bedroom with a woman who I care about should be, to a degree, private. Sacred. Private, yeah. And I think it should be completely private. Absolutely. And I don't want to hear about anyone else fucking. I want to make something clear to the I don't watch porn. I've never bought an OnlyFans. I've never paid for sex. My relationship with sex involves love, and I don't think it should happen outside of love. And I think that's the way that sex should operate. And I think that when you decide, and once again, I could be wrong, when you decide to keep sex exclusively for love, there's something beautiful and special about it. And if you decide not to do that, then you keep chasing a new high. And you can have threesomes and fuck a bunch of girls. And I'm not saying I haven't done it, but eventually you're constantly just chasing a new high, and you end up just doing something weird. Whereas if you just say, I only have sex with girls I love, then it's always special and it's always pretty sacred. And you get to just enjoy it that way. And beautiful children are birthed. And life goes on.
Beautiful answer there from Andrew Tate. Look at how these two are absolutely squirming in there. I don't know if this flies over Lena's head, but she's listening. Believe me, she's listening. And she understands that what her course and her choices in life in terms of being a porn star are severely compromised by that answer. Severely. She realizes what level of life, no matter how much money she makes, she is at for being a porn star. There it is. No matter how much money she makes, no matter how much notoriety she gets, she'll always be known as a porn star, and she'll be never given the sort of success that she so dearly craves. And no matter how much money that Adam makes, no matter how much notoriety he gets, he'll always be known as that guy who was cucked by his wife and by Jason Love. He'll forever be known that. No matter how much he wants to shake this. No matter how much money he makes. And this concept, this episode in their lives will come back to haunt them, believe me, in due course. Because as they said, fast money, slow problems, especially if they ever have kids. Well, I believe they've already had one. And when that kid has to go to school and face the music and the choices his mother has made, that his mother was a porn star, unknown one, and the psychological issues that will ensue from said choices.
In maybe like the last 5 years of our relationship, I can really only think of maybe like 1 or 2 times that we've had sex with a girl off camera. For the most part, we are monogamous. We just fuck around on camera. And I think if anything, our realization is that the world is so extremely fascinated by a couple like us who are open-minded sexually, because there's a lot of conversations.
Oh, shut up, Adam. Really and truly shut up. You're trying to justify your ways and means and try to legitimize your choices trying to retort what Adam had to say, but the die is cast. The votes are in. There's no way you can bring back that choice you made with the statement you're making now. There's no chance. No chance at all. No one in their right mind would. Neon tried to come after you, but it was in a sort of a very illogical way. But Andrew has really laid you out there with that comment. There's nothing else you can say that can go against that. That's my opinion.
It's about polyamorous relationships, and in our case, I do think it's kind of disingenuous for everybody to act like we're in this crazy poly relationship when we actually are monogamous, besides on camera. But I mean, for us, it's really like a porn thing. She shot this scene.
How can you be monogamous off camera? That's an oxymoron in and of itself. How can you be monogamous only off camera? Think about that. Can one be monogamous just off camera? No! If you're non-monogamous, even if it's on camera for all to see, you're not monogamous. You're there to do it for the buck. Let's not kid ourselves here. And Andrew Tate's point that out to the world, and they're trying to, defend their actions, but there's no way they can. How can they? Unbelievable.
Scene with this dude, as much as she may have enjoyed it or not enjoyed it, it was a money decision. It was like, oh, this is going to be a big move for my career and for our family. We're going to be able to retire off of this money. So that was the reason for it, not...
Listen to the answer again. Watch this. Watch what Andrew says about this.
And I'm not a saint. I'm not saying you're trying to say I'm a saint. I'm not trying to talk from a position of authority, but I have perhaps, maybe it's my fight career, which Cerrone doesn't respect, or maybe it's something else, but I think that you can achieve a lot of happiness in life through actually reducing your exposure to certain things. I'll give you an example. I'm not particularly a foodie, but I will only eat once a day.
Sorry. Oh, my God. Back up. Sorry. Sorry about that.
I just feel like, I don't know. We have so many people watching us, and we're just talking.
This lean shit. I say, yes, bro, I'm clean. What the fuck is going on?
Wish you absolutely the best. I wish the best for everybody on the planet. I am the top G, and I'm the most famous man on the planet. Sex exclusively for love.
Chase was the first dick you've had, right?
You know what? Let me say something. I find this very uncomfortable to talk about. There's not many things I find uncomfortable, but I just find this uncomfortable to talk about. And the reason is not because, I'm an adult. I know what sex is, of course. I've lived a very varied life. I just feel like, I don't know. We have so many people watching us, and we're just talking about dick and vagina. Don't you think this is below us? I don't know. We're all pretty intelligent people. We talk about the Matrix and how they're trying to dumb us all down and trying to control all of our minds. And this base instinct talk, I find it very uncomfortable. I'm not comfortable being on this stream. If I was sitting with a woman next to me, the last thing I would talk about is our personal life. I just don't think it's the smart thing to do. And I don't think that it is. I don't have any interest in the personal sex life of any married couple, and I don't want to hear about it, and I don't want to talk about it, and I just find it very uncomfortable. I'm extremely uncomfortable in this situation. That's the truth. And I'm not saying that from a position of weakness. I'm saying it from a position of strength. I don't like talking about these things. I don't like talking about women getting fucked. I don't like talking about what I do with women. I don't like talking about any of it. I think that what I do in the bedroom, that's how I still enjoy it. So I know what you're saying. I'm just talking from my personal experience. I try very hard to not give in to any temptations and try to avoid them. And I'm not saying I'm a perfect person, but by doing that, I find satisfaction in the world. So if I feel like fucking, I quite often don't fuck.
A corollary to that is that we were just on...
Excellent answer again there by Andrew. I just wanted to repeat that. I'm sorry, I was driven off track there by a little technical issue. But again, we're back again. We're going. Let me just move that forward because however, Adam 22 tries to justify it. Pales in comparison is the answer. But we continue.
The absolute best. And Lena, I hope you had fun, and I hope you enjoy your marriage. I don't know what else people are expecting me to say.
Time Sneeko and fucking Myron make a trip to Romania, I want to be right there on the PJ, hanging out and talking about why girls suck.
No.
Oh, no?
Oh, I draw the line there. We have one more porno to film, so we have to go.
Yeah.
All right, hey guys, thank you so much for coming on. Andrew, Jake's ready.
Appreciate you. Much love.
All right,
Nice to meet you.
all right, Lena. All right, Adam.
Nice.
And then they want to go and film another porn. Well, there it is. What more can you say? They're living their life. They're doing what they have to do. But again, Andrew Tate sticking up for the moral majority. Fantastic work there by Andrew. Great interview there by Andrew Tate, Aiden Ross, Jake Paul, done by Aiden Ross. Well done to you. I think they went on to talk to Jake Paul, but again, that is the least of our worries here again. However, so we have this, and we say to ourselves, okay, things have moved forward. But again, Adam is not done with the simping, not done with the cucking. He has decided to go full bore on his cuck, his cuck simp tour, and not only has he has his wife asked him for another man and got it. He has decided to double down on his cuck simp nature by doing this.
What are you doing your first ever BBC scene that I decided that I wanted to get you a little something nice? Open your eyes.
What? This? For me? Oh my god! Babe! I really need to keep this?
All right, now again, this is staged. Let's face facts here. This ain't spontaneous. To be fair, come on.
Anything for my queen.
So that first scene is Adam.
Thank you. Bye. Oh yes. Well, we had to go to Adam. We had to go to my man O'Shea Duke Jackson for that little intro right there. But again, things were asked to devolve. Let me see if there's anything here that we need to note. I don't think so. No. Again. Oh, we have. Well, actually. Well, a lot of the stuff here goes into what we have already discussed here tonight. But things were allowed to devolve even further. Yeah, that's O'Shea doing what O'Shea does. Shout out to O'Shea. Like, subscribe, and comment on that. Now, again, listen, I'm not even going to get into what just phony things does with her time anyway, so... to be fair, and so she can go kick rocks with that. But again, things have come to a head. Things have. it was supposed to be the perfect world, Lena has her Lamborghini, her Urus, and they're making money doing porn. However, again, this is allowed to rear its head, as you can see on Talk Live. And let me see if I can. There we go. Yeah. So I'll let things were devolving now. It's supposed to be a famous relationship. Jason Love, Lena the Plug, and Adam 22. Except Jason Love was said on another podcast on Barstool Sports that he effed Adam 22's wife better than he does in a Barbara Wild style interview. And I would say that would probably be true, as has been pointed out earlier on tonight. Adam 22 got very angry at this now. Now he's getting a backbone. Now he wants to prove he's the man. He is the man in the relationship. So he's, his manhood's at stake here. So he comes out with this. Let's hear it.
Work my wife. It seems like that cloud is getting to your head. You're talking real spicy, and I ain't really feeling it. Number one, the angle of the dangle is more important than the cubic of the pubic. That's number one. Number two, my D game, when I'm serving it, man, it's just like your mom's home cooking, because there's a special ingredient. It's called love. You ever heard of it? Number
he didn't have to say all this if he kept in the relationship and didn't allow Lena the Plug to do anything with Jason Love. And even Jason Love said he would never let his woman go out there and shag another man under his direction. There'd be no chance of that happening. But, it's all about business, right? So he did it. So, you have to deal with what comes to you, and this is what's coming to him. So now he's trying to be all defensive and angry at this point because he feels insulted by the statement that he fucked your wife better than he effed your wife better than he did. But that may be true. But again, Adam 22 wasn't having it, of course. But let him continue. Let him continue with his rant.
3, don't make me expose you, and you know what I'm talking about. It could get real messy out here. Number 4, you don't want problems moving around in these LA streets, because I can make that happen. I'm very, very well connected. And number 5, you are officially blacklisted for smashing my wife again. Show some respect.
This coming from a man who allowed his wife to have sex with someone else in the first place. He wants people to show him some respect. You can't make this stuff up. Just can't make this stuff up. You can't. You literally can't make this stuff up. He allows his wife to shag other men for profit. And yet, he gets upset when a man calls him out and says he effed his, he had sex with his wife better than he did. You can't make this stuff up, people. You can't. So here we are. Andrew Tate set him straight. Adam 22 has lost his wig because it flips his wig because he feels insulted by the fact that Jason Love has called him out, and so he's calling in the Army, Navy, Air Force, Marines, National Guard, all of his connected friends to put a hit out on him of some way, shape, or form, which is ridiculous. It doesn't. He seemed like a farm guy who literally got his street code card and can call shots now, which is ridiculous anyways. But it's totally laughable. But yeah, we can end it there. So it's 10:50. So let's just sum things up. This is where things stand right now. This is how things have devolved to this point. And again, it is an ever moving circle. Let me just get off this. See if we have any comments here on YouTube. We're good. And back to the full camp. So this is where we stand right now. Okay, we all know Adam 22 is a porn star, porn director. His wife, Lena, has been in many scenes. So they decided to go out on this venture after their marriage for profit. They got their profit. But yet they have now been told by many a critic, including Andrew Tate, that what they did was haram. It was wrong. It was not anywhere near to the moral standing that people should pursue, and also the fact that Andrew Tate literally, didn't want to speak on this subject because it spoke to baser instincts and carnal ideas that quite simply, were uncalled for in this day and age, and it was disgusting for him to speak to this, and not to something of greater meaning, and so he didn't want to be involved with this discussion any longer than it should. So we are at this point now where we hear Jason Love calling him out, saying that he did better in the bed with his wife better than he ever could, and now he's here to defend his own honor and calling shots that I know he writing checks we know he can't cash, quite simply. But just simply further calling out his cuck / simp sort of nature. So here we are, here we stand. I mean, listen, at the end of the day, Adam 22 is allowed to say what he wants to say and do what he wants to do for profit. But as I said, fast money, slow problems. And quite simply, this is leading him on a road to debauchery from which he can never come back. No he was on his way into mainstream society with his No Jumper podcast. That can never be now with this sex tape being made, if not before. If not, that would be the case before. He literally, the die is cast, and all for the almighty dollar. But again, as he said, he'll look back at this episode and laugh. But one thing that one person or people that I am actually feel sorry for are any potential kids that Lena the Plug and Adam 22 have in future. I believe they shouldn't have any kids, period. Quite simply. I think the amount of rebuke and the amount of abuse that these kids have to take on the behalf of their parents would be relentless, causing major psychological damage, and it would, it may lead to, the end of those kids altogether, which I wish nothing to happen upon them in any way, shape, or form, alive, living, or dead, on those children, on those potential children. I don't want anything to happen to them of negative aspect. But this can happen with these choices that Adam 22 and Lena the Plug made. If they're porn stars, they're porn stars. Listen, prostitution is the oldest, and sex work is the oldest profession in existence, and it will continue on past those days. But there has to be, as Andrew Tate, let me repeat, Andrew Tate has said, that there must be a line in which should not be crossed, especially morally, and this is one of them. This is definitely one of those lines that shouldn't be crossed. In that you should, not allow your wife to shag another man. Quite simply. Because you have certain things like this happen. You're called a tuck, you're called a cuck, you're called a simp, but, you say you're laughing all the way to the bank, but I don't know. Psychologically, I don't know if you have any bank whatsoever. And it's a shame that society has to go down this road for profit, but this is the way it is. This is what's happening in this day and age. And the only people I feel sorry for are the potential children these children made, because Lena the Plug and Adam 22 have made their choices. They're doing what they're doing. They're married. They live in this sort of, debaucherous state, and it's up to them if they want to continue it. But to be fair and frank, I wouldn't advocate it myself. Not in the public way. Hell no. Hell no. What people do in private amongst themselves is one thing, but to involve other people, to debase morals and ethics to this point, to this state, and to continue to advocate for it for profit, it's a bit shameless. It's a bit shameless on my part, and I don't want, although I wish Adam 22 and Lena the Plug, and Jason Love, all those involved in these proceedings, the best, but at the end of the day, they have gone into this eyes open, and they are to take the consequences. So I leave it to them. So thank you very much for joining me on Talk Live. We're going to end it right here. I think we've gone into this enough. The whole Adam 12 and Lena the Plug and Jason Love controversy that's still happening to this day. This is still an ever-changing, ever-evolving topic in society today. And, it speaks to many a thing. Speaks to the devolution of society. Speaks to speaks to morals of the morals of the day. It speaks to all. It speaks to, the devolution of Western society. It speaks to, discourse on these sort of subjects and how they can be brought up publicly. And it makes us think, it makes us talk, and that's what we do here in Talk Live. So I thank you very much for joining me in Talk Live. We're going to end it here. Thank you very much. I appreciate you being here with me. If we see things going forward and advance, so be it. But I want, again, going forward into the future, to delve into that topic especially a few topics that were raised by Andrew Tate in his interview with Tucker Carlson. I think it was a far-ranging interview that the BBC should have had. I repeat, should have had, but they didn't because, again, we've already gone into the whole BBC, the BBC nature and how it is so gynocratic and how they wish, they advocate for the gynocracy and the lowering of male standards and standard traditional men everywhere. And we here want to cover that interview. We also want to cover a few other things, including, the trucker in Dubai. That's something I want to get into this week. A few other things as well. So stay tuned. We have a few topics that we want to go through. A lot of hot topics that are up and running, especially with this summer heat hitting us. It seems that controversy is on the rise, and we are going to be here to cover it on Talk Talk Live. So thank you very much for joining me on Talk Talk Live right here. We're going to end it right here. Thank you very much, and I look forward to seeing you again, if not tomorrow, then next week. Very busy weekend for me again, but I'm going to see if I can try and get a show in tomorrow. If not, definitely next week we'll go in. So thank you very much, and we'll speak to you soon. And good night from Toronto. And thank you very much for joining me on YouTube. Yes, indeed, more shorts, more things to come. I am going to be working on that this weekend. I will guarantee that. Yes, indeed, because I'll be heading away soon. So looking forward to getting done those things so they can be up and running and in public view so that we can move this channel forward in 2023. So thank you very much for joining me on Talk Talk Live on this controversial topic of Adam 22, Lean to the Plug, Jason Love, et al., and how society is being debased by this gynocratic slash cuck slash simp sort of nature that has propagated a certain dynamic of intersexual relations that, quite simply, I don't agree with myself. But again, that's where things are headed, and it takes a strong man to stand against it. So strong men to stand against it. So thank you very much for joining me on Talk Talk Live on IG and YouTube, and also it takes a lot of strong women out there to do it as well. Thank you very much for joining me at Talk Talk Live on IG and YouTube. We're going to end it right here, and we'll see you either not on Friday, then on Tuesday night. So good night from Toronto.